Hello my friends, and welcome to the Fairy Stamper YouTube channel. Katie here, and today I'm going to show you how I created this card using one of the backgrounds that I created last month in the month of April. So this is the background before I stamped on it, and to create the background I used some pigment powders, Procyon dyes. They're tie-dye inks, powders if you will, that you create into liquid ink that I absolutely love to use in my card making. And I wasn't sure where I was going. I knew I was going to use the Gnome Mansion, so that's first and foremost. And I knew I was going to use the wooden walkway. Beyond that, I had no idea where this was going. So you can see I have a bunch of different foliage that I had pulled out because I really wasn't sure what type of framing I was going to do. I've got some Versafine Clair Nocturn, and those are the Distress Layering Rectangle dies from Cat Scrappiness. I do end up using some Versafine Clair and Twilight, and here I'm going to show you that how I came to that decision. So I've never used the stamp, so I knew I'd have to use my stamp positioner. And so I'm just placing my stamp, and once I get that lifted up, I take the acetate because it's printed in black, and I put that over my panel. And I thought the black was just too black, and I was debating between that and the Twilight, and so I opted to go with the Twilight. I thought it went better with the blues and the purple pinkies that were in there. And so here I'm just going to ink this up 3 times because it's watercolor paper. I've also got Perfect Pearls that sprayed on there to give it some shimmer. And so I knew I was going to have to, and plus I hadn't used the stamp before, so I knew I'd have to ink this up several times. So 3 times it is, and we get a nice good impression. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to stamp part of the wooden walkway to not make it look like the mansion is floating in the air, in the sky. So once I get that inked up, I think this is the last time, I will move on to the wooden walkway. Now once I get the wooden walkway off camera, I had really sat and debated doing different things with the acetate overlay technique to see what I would like. And I actually had taken the lantern tree because I wasn't loving like the hanging vines and the corner, the ivy corner stamp that I had taken out, and I laid the lantern tree acetate over top, and I liked it. Now for some reason in my mind I was thinking that it was going to come out a solid image. I don't know why I was thinking that, but that's what I was thinking. And so when I stamped it, I was like, oh no. And I had to stamp it a couple more times again because of the texture and everything on the card. But I was debating on coloring that in, the trunk and everything and the branches, but I didn't. But you see, it's just too bright around the edges. It needed a little something. And so that's why I was debating, oh, do I need to color this in? I didn't need to color it in. What I ended up doing is taking a foam blender tool that I had used with the Versafine Clair Twilight, and I end up adding that to around the edge. Now here I'm getting ready to do that. I had gone off camera and die cut with the largest distress die, layering die from Cat Scrappiness, and so the edges were jagged, and so it made it a little bit more difficult. So I had to kind of finagle how I was going to get that ink around because it kept poking in the foam blender tool. But I did it, and I think it just made it so much better. Now I didn't ink up and put extra ink on that foam blender tool. This is just what I had on there because I didn't want it to color in and be too dark. And so I just keep adding and going and blending in because there's just so much ink that actually goes on those foam blending tools that sometimes you just don't need to add more. And I thought once I got this done, it just added the best halo effect. In fact, I showed it to my husband when it was done, and he's like, it looks like a haunted house. He's like, so you could use this for Halloween. So we're going to take this as some Halloween inspiration. A little bit early, but hey, you know what? Holidays creep up on me. I don't know about you guys, but I can never have enough things ahead of time so that I'm not worrying about it when the time comes. So he thought it was a haunted house, so we'll think it's a haunted house. And because I used watercolor paper and the paper was warped, I did use some double-sided adhesive. That just works better than liquid adhesive to flatten out your cardstock once you put it on your card base. Now the card base is navy cardstock. It's Gina K's in the navy. I thought it was a little bit better simply because I thought the white was too bright. Even though there was not going to be a lot of trim, it just, to me, it just didn't look right. So inside, just a piece of Gina K white layering cardstock just to have a place to write a note when I send the card out. And that finishes up the card. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the sentiment. So the sentiment is from the new Spellbinders Simply Perfect Mix and Match sentiments. And, excuse me, there are several different word dyes that are in there. And so I chose to combine Hello Love with that because it can be sent anytime. Doesn't have to wait till Halloween. But then that finishes up the card for sure. So links to the Fairy Stamper shop and products used in today's video are going to be listed in the description box below, as well as links to follow me on my YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and also be sure to click that link that takes you over to the Fairy Stamper Hugs Facebook group. That's where you can join us and you can share your projects so that we can see them and see all the fabulous things that you guys are creating. So be sure and click that link and head over and join us on Facebook. And that's going to wrap it up, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell and select all notifications. That way you're notified each time a video has been uploaded. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.